Good afternoon, team. It is the 12th of November. Happy Saturday. Weekend members video. Didn't do one last weekend because I was in California for a trip. I had a conference and then some family get together. And I'm back in town and getting ready to roll. It's been a great week. Made some great trades. Been a really good Monday this week. It's been a really good November so far. Been able to take advantage of both. These downturns as well as these upturns on both sides by selling premium. Really, nothing's been setting up as far as swing trades. Been nibbling here and there, been getting stopped out really quick. So nothing is tracking. And like I mentioned on the post, these last couple of days, it's just been bottom feeding, and it's just not my style. It's just bottom feeding. It's not something you want to do long term because it doesn't pay. You're gonna end up losing more money than winning because you're gonna have to pick a bottom, and then there's no such thing as picking a bottom or picking a top. So I like to stick to my one system, my one setup, and I just maximize it as much as I can. I don't try to chase every little shiny object and be all over the place. That's not focus, that's not discipline, and that's not for winning traders. So I try to emulate the best traders in the world and throughout history, and from the 1900s, Jesse Livermore, William O'Neill, Peter Tudor Jones, Mark Minervini, the list goes on and on. These guys don't bottom feed. They have their setups, they have their systems, and that's what they trade. They don't trade every single thing that's out there or every possible way of trading. They stick to their style, their way of analyzing the market, the way they see things, and that's all they do. And if it's not there, they don't do anything. So why reinvent the wheel? Do what has worked for the last 100 years. So that's what I try to convey here in this alert service and these videos. So let's start with the cues. Great couple days, but again, a day or 2 days doesn't make a rally, but we are in a confirmed uptrend. We had a follow through day, and then we had a follow through to the follow through day. So that's awesome. This is the, not to be a bearer of bad news, but again, look at this chart, okay? This chart doesn't look that promising. It's still like, all over the place. We're still in this huge downtrend. We're kind of basing here on the low side. But if you notice, higher high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Kind of get to it and came back down. And here we have our first higher high from the previous, and then from here we have a lower low, lower low, lower lows, lower lows, and then here, we're starting to see. Put a little alert here. So we're starting to see higher lows, and then here is a higher high. So again, this could be a new channel. Let me take these guys out of here. These are like all news. So this could be the start of a new trend, but that's the good news, But the bad news is, one, we're right. Let me give my little arrows and my little friends here. We are right at the 84. This is a long term of my stack. See how we had to stack EMAs to the downside. Going down now here, you get a little bit of a turn, a little bit of the 8 getting up across the 21, and the 34 is pointing higher, the 50 is pointing higher, and the 84 is kind of turning its head a little bit. The only difference between this and this, back here when we had this nice long little tradable rally, and then we just vomited again, it was because here first of all we were a little bit higher up, here, we were here, and then now we're down here. Okay, so that's the one thing. The other thing is, let me clean this up. If you notice in this one, The 21 here, it's already up above the 34. The 8, it's already up above the 50, right? And then we're crossing higher, and everything is kind of moving higher. Here, you don't have that yet. You only have the first one. So when we had the very first one here, we had an instead of rally, we came back to test the 21. So we can come back and test the 21 somewhere around here, and then we can probably continue higher. I just don't see us like boom, 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 boom. It just doesn't work that way. Just like we had this nice little rally here, we came back to test. We had a nice little rally here. We consolidated for a couple days. We went up for another day or so. We came down for 3 days. We went up for a week, and then we came down. And and then we just came all the way down. So I see us maybe Monday we have a continuation of Monday, and then we have turnaround Tuesday, and then by then the 21 will probably be somewhere here, and this is kind of where we'll meet. Or on Monday will just kind of be a flat day, and then eventually come back to a 21. I don't know if we're going to go back to all these lows here. I think again this is hindsight's 2020, but this could be the low, like the low could be here. Now, how do we know if that's not right? If we test this line and we break this line and we come back here. So it's all price action, no speculation, no elections, no CPI, no interest rates. All that is hogwash. Price action. What's going on here? Because you can have one thing in the market, one set of news, and then the market reacts completely different. So again, all I do is look at price action and look at my squeeze. This is a squeeze pro. Okay, this is a squeeze pro. Thinkorswim gives you for free the regular squeeze. That's the one that gives you only the red dots. The squeeze pro, it's about $1,200 I paid for it. I could resell it for $495 if you guys are interested. So you can have the pro. It comes up with a lot more things up here. And it comes with different scans and so forth. And what it does is it gives you the black dots and it gives you yellow dots. So it gives you the yellow, the red, and the black. So that means it gives you more. Like right now, we're in a black dot squeeze. If you have just a regular one, you wouldn't see that squeeze. And then here you see the squeeze kind of triggering. So it gives you more opportunities to pick up squeezes than just a regular, red dotted one. Where here you already knew you were in a squeeze right here, from here. And then a 2-day squeeze you wouldn't trigger, but now you have at least a week. So when it does trigger, and then here you would have lost it, so you wouldn't have been in a squeeze anymore. You would have you wouldn't have seen this. So like again, the pro gives you just a lot more things, a lot more tools for you to see how much the squeeze is going to yield. 6-point move. No, it's the historical on a red, a 10 on the yellow, on a 7 on the black. So we're in a black squeeze. So historically, it gives you a 7 points to the upside when it does fire. Again, this is $495. If you guys are interested, I can get it to you guys at that price. And then also it comes with, like I said, it comes with a couple more indicators, and it comes. Let me clean this up. It's getting kind of weird. And it comes also with the early alert bars. So you see that, for example, like here in the momentum bar, you still in light blue, right? You still in light. That means it's still strong momentum, right? But I'm getting a blue bar here. So this is an early sign indicator, which you get with the Pro. So even though I have a blue strong momentum bar over here, like you will see on your regular free one, I'm already getting a heads up that, hey, this is really turning already. And look what happened. Boom. By the time you get your blue bar, I avoided all this mess right here because I got out. That right there. And then this little green dots, that tells me it's about to fire. So whenever I see this little, see like here, see I have these black ones here, which is the Pro, and I'm getting this little blue dots. That means that, hey, this little green dots within the bar tells me, hey, we're about to fire. We're about to fire, you better get in. And what happened? Boom. See, when it fired, boom. Okay? You guys wouldn't have gotten this in the free one. You only get that on the Pro. So again, like I said, it's about $1,400, I think I paid for everything when I bought it, and I could resell it to you guys for like more than 60% off, $495 if you're interested. And again, it comes with a lot more things. These little bars here, and also the scans. It allows you to scan for these things a lot more simpler. So I digress. Let me get back to this. So again, that's one thing. The other thing I'm looking at also here is that the 200s, I don't have it on this chart. Let me put it in real quick. Let me get back over here. Let me add the 200. I have to make this 100 blue. So here's the 200 right there. Okay, we're still below the 200. So we just cleared the 50, 55 actually. So even more than 50. We're above the 84, but the 200 is still looming here. So even if we come back down to retest the 21 and eventually go higher, this 200 is going to meet us, and honestly, probably it's most likely going to be right at 300 level, because it's just not going to be a psychological number. If you notice, it's going to keep on going, down like this. The price kind of going to meet it somewhere probably around 300. So we're at 287 right now. So we still have another 1,300 points on the composite, which is another 13, 14 points, 12 points on the QQs. So and again, once they hit that 200, let me see here. The last time it hit the 200 was way back here in March, and it's been inside of 200 ever since. Even here back in August, when we had a nice rally, it never really got to it. And then again, we've been going down. Let me clean this up. We've been going down ever since from there. So another thing I wanted to kind of show you guys is, if you notice here, we have a gap, guys. There's a gap right here. Sorry, not there. Sorry, we have this gap right here from Thursday. So this is where, like 268, around there. So this gap right here, eventually, will get filled. So we still have to take care of this. Now, the other, let me clean this up. If you go to the SPY, same thing. We have this gap here, 385 to about 382. So I would say 382 will get tested again at some point. We're at 398. Again, the 200 is way up here. This is gonna kind of continue going down. This is the same thing as the Q, same kind of concept. We might go down, maybe a little bit higher, and then boom, have the 21 meet somewhere here, and then go higher, and then 400, 405, 404. This kind of range right here. I have previous levels of like key levels where it kind of meant something. So if you notice, it kind of like came down right to this one right here, this one right here. So again, we might be that 400 to 405 level might be a little bit of a resistance as well on the S&P. Again, same thing. We have higher highs, okay? Higher lows, and we do have higher highs as well. So we kind of do something like this, close enough, or even we might go a little bit higher, and then kind of come back, and this will continue, and then maybe test it back here at 393 level. But again, maybe this right here is going to get filled. I don't know when, but this 382 might get filled sometime before the year's over. I don't know. Just keep that in mind. But we still, this channel got broken. Obviously, this channel got broken because now we're going this way. So we might meet somewhere down here, and then before we blast up higher, we're coming into a recession. Some say by indicators we're already in a recession. But if we have a full-blown recession next year, the market can go higher, even though we might be in a recession, because the market does not look backwards. The market looks 6 to 9 months ahead. So whatever is happening right now, the market already accounted it for like 6 months ago. So the market is already accounting for these interest rates hikes to stop, maybe by like January or March meetings. Because the Fed's going to raise, they were saying about 5.25 or 5.5 they want to get to. We're at 4 or 4.25 right now. So they still have like 3 more hikes to go. They might not do 75 like they've done like the last 3 in a row. They've been 75, 75, 75. They might do 50, and 50, and 50. But they're still going to keep on raising. So the market it's already accounting for that. That's why we had these rallies here. Clean this up. That's why we had these rallies here, because the market is already accounting for. We had a pretty soft CPI, and then we blasted higher for the anticipation of lower, a 50 basis point in the next December Fed meeting. So we shall see. Again, I'm still seeing a gap here, and then the main thing besides looking at the market, stocks. Are stocks setting up? Not this. I'm not talking about like this crap. Who wants to trade this? I mean, look at this. This is like, why would you? This is not something I want. Yeah, you had a great run here, but this is bottom feeding. This is bottom feeding. This is not conducive to long-term success. SMH, which is the semiconductor indicator, ETF. Same thing. It's been going down. Then we had this great moves, but again, we had this gap up here that could get filled. This is parabolic. This is not sustainable. You have the 200. Be careful here. Don't chase these these explosions. Yeah, you can make great money here, but what? You have a crystal ball and you knew it was going to go up 30 points in 2 days. You don't know that. You can't trade that way. You gotta trade setups. You gotta trade probabilities. What's your setup? For example, you had a squeeze here. Well, this is all on the wrong side, but still, you had a little squeeze. But again, see if you notice, the pro gave me the squeeze. So if I really wanted to trade this, I say, okay, well, here's my line in the sand. As far as gotta get out of this, it's above 21. So this is moving higher. The 8 is crossing over. I got a squeeze building up. I got momentum going up. I'm getting blue bars. I'm getting light blue bars here. That means I'm getting a lot of momentum. So when this squeeze fired, right here, I will be in somewhere around 198, 200, 202, 203 to 220. But again, this is because I saw this pro gave me the squeeze on this a little bit earlier. It gave it to me because it just gave me the one squeeze on the regular one. So let me clean that up. Okay, so I will just take a little bit of water. All right, so again, be careful. Be careful with these, Apple. Yeah, it's over here. Again, look at this. Look at this. This is not a way to make money. Yeah, it's it went from 134 to 150. Great move. But again, how do you know this 134 was the low? How do you know like over here when it kind of goes staggering around? It's like, okay, well, great. It was here. It came up again, and it came out here and it tested it. All right, this is the low because this is the low. It tested it. It started going higher. Here we go. I'm loading up. All in. Boom. You're down. I'm not saying that we're gonna go like this now, but you can't trade that way. This is all stacked the wrong side. You wanna have the stack like this. You wanna have the stack of the moving average like this. Well, look at this. This right here. Let's say you would have had a line in the sand here with this top here broke. It came to retest. You have a double bottom, boom, boom. This low is lower than this low, double bottom. Here's your W, here's your midpoint. So when this midpoint is broken and a double bottom, that's your entry. My entry would have been right there. So I would have entered at 151, and I would have gotten out somewhere here when it broke the 8 again at, let's say 170. That's a trade that I'm comfortable with. Why? Because I have a setup. I have the wing on back. I have defined terms on my trade. I'm not guessing. I'm not hoping. I'm not being emotional. I have defined terms. I have a double bottom identified here. I have my entry point, my pivot. Here's my entry. Where do I get out? When it breaks the 8. Boom. Broke the 8. I'm out. That's simple trading. Here, how do I know this is the bottom? I have no idea. You can't be guessing. You can't be doing this. You don't trade stocks. Don't trade Apple, Nvidia, FedEx, Square. Don't trade stocks. Trade setups. Look for a setup. Okay? Now here, you have a little squeeze, right? I have my black dots here. So I have a squeeze here. So this is my first day of the squeeze here. Now, how do I know this squeeze is going to work or not? If it's above the 21 and it's going higher. This one didn't work. So I would have never taken this. I would definitely would have waited for this price to clear, and it never did, and it fired short. Here's the squeeze firing with the green dots. It fired short. So this would have been a short. Again, why? Because I have my EMA stacked in a short way. I don't have my EMA stacked in the long way, where they're going like this. 84, 55, 34, 21, and 8. These are going like this. 84, 55, 34, 21, they're going the wrong way. So if I have a squeeze, I'm more likely to go short than to go long, like in here. Simple. Just that simple, guys. I got a mess here. So I'm putting this point across so you understand what you're looking for. So you're not guessing, you're not gambling, you're not trying to bottom feed, you're not trying to be, a hero and pick up 30 points because, you hit the low. That's gambling. That's not trading. That's not what I'm all about. If that's what you're about, then this is not the service for you, because all you're doing is just basically, I guarantee you within a year you're gonna lose all your money, because that's not the way to trade. Trade setups. Don't trade stocks. Don't try to look for stocks that are bottoming or you hear in the news or whatever. You could hear for a stock. You could put it in there and then look at it. Okay, is it meeting my criteria? Yes or no? If it's no, you move on. Simple as that. Okay. So I gave you, this is the list I'm giving you. Let me go over here and let me clean this up. This is the stocks that I'm sending you guys. Okay, so these are it right here. So here's what I do, so you understand how this works. So how I do it. Okay, so when I get my scan list of the best stocks that are working, again, let me rephrase that. I have multiple scans that serve me to the actual penny of where I want to get in. So in other words, my scans give me if there's a squeeze, if we have a buy signal and so forth, and if the price is currently below the 8 and just above the 21. So when my personal scans that I have ongoing on my screens give me like if they're ready to go like right now. Okay, like right now. So I can take action on it right now, and I can analyze it to see if anything's working at that point. But I'm not chasing stocks, so I'm not going to buy anything that's above the 8. Or I'm not going to buy anything that's below the 21. I'm not going to buy anything that doesn't have clean, nice stacked EMAs to the upside. If they're spaghetti looking, if they're spaghetti looking like this, I'm not interested. Okay, they gotta be nice and clean, and I have to have a squeeze. I have to have at least one or two buy signals, on the lower time frames. That means that the stock is turning, and I want to make sure that the market is kind of it's got the wind in my back. So all those scans are like dynamic, immediate. On the weekend, I go through a more extensive scan where I just scan for like the best stocks out there. That means, in other words, stocks that are growing their earnings, that are growing their sales, that have a trend quality of at least one. If you notice, at least one. So anything below one, they're not picked up in this scan. Okay, at least one. That means, in other words, they're going from lower left to upper right, at least. You know, um, that's one thing. Two, they have to have some kind of beta. They have to have at least a 0.85 beta. I don't want stocks that move like 25 cents. They have to move at least $1. Okay, they have to be outperforming the market, and they have to be solid stocks, solid companies. So now, then that might not be in a setup at the moment, but these are just the best stocks. So well, this is what I do. I take this list, and then I copy these stocks. Right? I copy them. Right click, copy. Then I bring a scan. I bring a watch list. This one I call it filter global stocks. I'm going to edit this watch list. I'm going to import, and I'm going to paste from clipboard. So Control V, lowercase v, as in Victor, V, and this copy pastes here. So what I do, I like to replace my current symbol, so you could add to what's already on there. So eventually you're gonna have like 1,000 stocks in your watch list, which is too much. I just my scans are, I do it every week, so I'm picking up what's best right here, right now, every week. So I just hit replace. I hit OK, and I hit save. So now this scan right here gives me this list right here, the same thing by trend quality. Okay. So once I have that right here, I basically go through it, and then this is what I do. This is the first one. Okay, here's what I do. Obviously, this is extended. This is way extended. It's not in a squeeze. The squeeze already fired. Okay, the squeeze was back here, and boom, the squeeze fired. Look at that. This is the squeeze right here, and it fired in this day right here. This is when it fired. So, poof. So let's say 50 to like 67. Obviously, it's like, and I also have a buy signals. I have a buy signal that they. That's another indicator. That's another thing that it's also like a professional one that I bought. That one cost me. I think that one was like $8.95. That one I could sell you for like, I think like $2.95, something like that. Where it tells me if I have any buy signals, which is like 3 major momentum, price, and structure. It gives me a buy signal, so it kind of gives me a little bit more of a confirmation. Now, if I go to I have it all the way to the 5-minute. So if I go to the 5-minute, it gives me right here. So I have a buy signal on the daily, the 4-hour, the 2-hour, the 1-hour. The stock is strong, right? I don't have a buy signal on the 30, the 15, or the 5. So the 5-minute, I don't have a buy signal. The 15-minute, I don't have. The 30, I don't have a buy signal. So let's go to the 30. See, I don't have a buy signal. I have a squeeze in the 30. But again, this one won't give me a squeeze. This just gives me the squeezes on the regular one, not the pro. I have a squeeze on the pro. So I have a squeeze going on right here on the 30-minute. But I don't have a buy signal. So if I go to the hourly, boom, I got a buy signal. Green just gives me a buy signal, but I don't have a squeeze. That's perfectly fine. I have buy signals on lower time frames. That means when I go to the daily, and if I would have had a squeeze here, that let's see back in 10.5, the 10.3, 10.5 range. Let me go to the 15-minute. 10.3. Well, this will be like back here on Tuesday is somewhere over here. I don't even know. Probably somewhere around here. See, I have a buy signal. So either way, so I do have a buy signal on the daily, which is the 0 hours. You see how it's consolidating here. So you put an entry right here, boom, and this takes off. But again, I didn't have a squeeze. So if I have a buy signal and I have a squeeze, I'm a buyer. So back here, when I was looking at this, I probably wouldn't have entered here. Well, you know what? I would have entered somewhere right here when it would have came in my scans. Let me so right here, I would have entered on this day, right there, on 10, maybe 10, 12 around there. Why? Because I have stacked EMAs, right? 8, 21, 34, 55, and 8. They all stack positive. I have a consolidation here. I have a squeeze. Okay, I have a squeeze. but I'm not a buyer because it's above the 8. I'm only a buyer between, I'm only a buyer here. That's all. That's the only time I'm a buyer. I'm a buyer here between the 8 and the 21. I'm a buyer here. If I had a squeeze, I would have been a buyer here. Because again, you see how it's consolidating here? You have an nice little consolidation going sideways, and boom. You got the entry here when the momentum turns higher. Again, this also has to do with you have earnings, so I wouldn't have traded this. But two reasons: one, you have earnings. Two, I don't have a squeeze. I got a squeeze right here. Okay, this is when I have a squeeze. This is my squeeze. I got the momentum turning higher, so I'm not a buyer here. I got spaghetti. I would have been, back here. It already did its thing. It's turning lower. Spaghetti, spaghetti. Ooh, here we go. I'm stacked. I'm positive. So now I'm hunting this for a move inside the 8 above 21 to be a buyer. So I'm a buyer right here. Let's say at 49.50. I'm a buyer of 49.50. The squeeze fired here, but I wouldn't have bought there. I would have bought the very next day because again, very early level of firing. So this is still a good buy right here, and I have a nice 3 to 5, 7 day squeeze here. I'm a buyer of 49.50. When do I get out? Let me clean this up. When do I get out? I probably would have gotten out this day right there when it broke the 8. So let's say I would have gotten out at 55.50. So 49.50, 55.50. That's a 6-point move. That's a 12% move. 12% move in 2 weeks. That's not bad. You buy a couple hundred shares here. You make yourself $1,200. That's not bad. You do that twice in a month. That's $2,500 in a month. And all you really spent was, 10 grand because you would have bought a couple hundred shares at $50 or something like that. So this works. This works. Just I don't know how to say it a million different ways. Trade the setup. Look for the setup. I have no idea what this company does, nor do I care, nor should you. Is it gonna make me money? I don't care what the name of the company is. I don't care what they do. I'm trading to make money. I'm not trading to be right or to own Tesla or to own Square or to own Apple or to own Nvidia. I don't care what the company does. I care if it's going to make me money. This is a business. I'm in business to be profitable. So how am I profitable? By trading a squeeze setup with my checklist and my rules. I gotta have stacked EMAs. I gotta have a squeeze. I gotta have the stock moving higher. I'm only a buyer inside the 8 above the 21. If it breaks the 21 to the 34, I am not a buyer. I will put an alert above the 21, and then I'm a buyer when it breaks above the 21 going higher. When am I a seller? I'm a seller when it breaks the 8. That's when I get out. When do I stop out? When do I stop out if I got in right there? If I got in right there, very close to the 8 and 34, I probably would give you a little bit of room to the 34. But if it's like really like here, like let's say here it's extended, and I'm a buyer right here, I'm stopping out right there on the 21. Or I might go to a lower time frame and look how those are stacked up and so forth. But that's it. I'm looking for a setup. I'm scanning and I'm hunting and I'm looking for a setup. This is my setup. This is what has made me money in the past. This was made a lot of traders rich in the past. This is what I've learned. This is what I do. I don't care about the stock. I don't care about like catching a bottom or like, oh, this company is down like 30 points today. It's got to go up tomorrow. Let me get in so I can make 15 points on this. That's not trading. That's gambling. That is gambling. If you want to gamble, then gamble. That's perfectly fine. It's a profession. There are professional gamblers, but that's not trading. Don't confuse it. Okay? I am way digressing on this, but I want to get my point across. Let me clean this up. So here's what I do. Like I said, I get my list. Again, this is only on the weekend. Okay? This is only on the weekend. During the week, I already have my alert set up. I have my scans going for live entry. So in other words, this entry would have been if I would have had a perfect example. I would have gotten an alert right here. I would have gotten an alert right here. Well, actually, I wouldn't. I wouldn't gotten the alert because the squeeze already fired. But I would have this one I wouldn't gotten an alert. I would totally missed this one. But because I already fired on that day. But maybe like somewhere here in that particular moment right there, that little maybe it kind of crossed a little bit inside the 8, I would have gotten an alert. It has to be like right inside the alert. But no, what I'm saying is my scans give me exact point entries of below the 8, above 21, and all else being set up for a squeeze and my trigger and then just the proper entry. That's when I get the alert intraday during the week. Now, for weekend, I do my scans. I give you the scans in the spreadsheet. I copy that spreadsheet. I show you how to do it. I put it in a watch list, and then I just go through it. So basically, what I would do here, this is what I would do. I'm gonna go through every single one of these stocks, so you see how quickly this is. This is gonna be a long video, but it's been a while. So what I do is I basically just put an alert right here. I just go through it and I put an alert somewhere in between the 8 and the 21. So again, that doesn't mean that, let's say in 3 or 4 days, this comes back in here at 59 something and I get an alert, I'm going to buy it. No, it tells me, okay, come look at me. Come look at me and see what's going on with me. Because I guarantee you, if this comes back down over here, this momentum right here, it's going to turn to blue because it's going to go back down again. And then maybe if this comes down in an orderly fashion and it goes sideways for a little bit, maybe it starts another squeeze. And I was alerted, and then I have my alert, and then I can see what's going on. That's putting in the work. So right now, that's what I'm doing. I'm putting in an alert. I'm not taking action. Again, extended. This one is already one that I already looked at, and I already have my alert right here somewhere in between if it comes down. Again, I'm not buying up here. I have no squeeze. I have nothing. Where would have been my squeeze? My squeeze would have been right here. This is a perfect buy. You buy it at 110. And you write this sucker up and you're at 151 and you would never have gotten out. Okay, so here's when you had the squeeze, here's when I have the stack, here's the entry in between the 8 and the 21. If anything, this also you would have entered right here as well at 120 because it would definitely alert me during the day because I am in a squeeze. See, it's a pro squeeze. It's the black one. He never gave you the red one. So you guys wouldn't have gotten this one on the free one, only in the pro version. So I saw this squeeze right here. It gave me an alert that day right there when it came inside. I would have been a buyer there, and I would have written this puppy out. Actually, I probably would have added it around here somewhere. I stopped that before the 34, and boom. Again, I don't want to digress. I'm going to go through it really quick. So that's what I do. The next one. Perfect example right here. I put an alert. That's it. Move it. Move out. Move on. Next one. I already have an alert on that one. ELF. Guys, we traded ELF around here. Remember ELF? It was in the 30s and 40s, and then look where it's at right now. It hit up here at 51. So this works. Look at the squeeze. Look at the squeeze, guys. Look at the squeeze. You're a buyer somewhere right here. You would have been a buyer right there. You're in the squeeze, right? Here's the squeeze. A long squeeze. It's a long squeeze, right? And when are you a buyer? Right there. When it comes inside. So you would have been a buyer to stay at 40, and then the squeeze fired. And I guarantee you, I probably would have gotten stopped out right here at 42. So I would have made 2 points, okay? But then once it comes above the 8, and then you had this little consolidation, you could easily have gotten in back again about 43, and you're at 49. But even though this kind of actual earnings, that's why I probably would have gotten out somewhere at 43, 44, because I wouldn't have held it on earnings the next day. So if I would have bought it here, I'm out this day no matter what. No matter what. I'm not saying I'm going to pick the top, but let's say it's somewhere halfway at 43. So I would have made 3 points on this. Okay? So let's keep going. I already have my alerts here. Keep going. I already have an alert here. So I have already gone through a few of these. Again, I have my alert here. They're stacked. I'm only buying this. I'm only buying here. Okay, this is the only place I'm buying. I am not buying here. I am not buying here. Above the 8, I'm not buying. Below the 21, I'm not buying. This is my sweet spot. This is the money maker right here. This is where you make money. Why? Because you have defined risk. If it breaks the 21, you're out. Here, you're already buying extended. It's already making this move. Look at this. This thing already made this move. It's already made it. It's like there's no more oomph here, you know. It's more. There's a higher chance that it will go down, that it will continue going higher. This didn't never had a squeeze. This never had a squeeze, so I wouldn't have gone into this. Okay, again, my system, yeah, I'm going to miss a lot of transactions. I'm going to miss a lot of trades. I cannot make all the trades that are available. Nobody can. So out of 1,000, I could miss 995 trades. But the 5 that I take make me good money. I've had a good month. I've had a good year, so forth and so forth. So I am a sniper. Okay, you don't want to be a shotgun. You want to jack of all trades. You want to focus on one thing. Master it, and be just like where you can just take 10 seconds and analyze whether you're going in and out in this trade and all your parameters are met and so forth. Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, move. This guy right here, see when it's in a squeeze? It was in a squeeze right here, and it just squeeze just fire. So I'm gonna put an alert right here. Actually, I'm gonna cancel these guys right here. These are just way too far down. I'm gonna put an alert right here. Keep going. This was the beginning of a squeeze here. So it only had a 2-day squeeze. I like to have at least 3 days. At least 3 days. So, I would not have been a buyer here. I would have missed this. That's perfectly fine. But let's say you would have caught this at 23, you would have gotten out, let's say here, at 31. That would have been a nice trade. So I'm gonna put an alert right there. Again, I'm not in a squeeze. So let's say tomorrow on Monday it goes down to 31.20 and I get an alert. Oh, perfect. It came down to 21. This is my sweet spot. I'm gonna buy it. No, I have no squeeze. I have no setup. It just kind of telling me like, hey, I'm back to maybe grinding. Maybe this thing goes sideways for a little bit. Maybe it goes sideways for a little bit. Where like now it's going back and forth, and then maybe that busts a squeeze. Then I'm a buyer. Okay. So just because I get an alert on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, doesn't mean I'm a buyer. It just means like, hey, look at me. What's going on? I'm a great stock, and I'm coming back into a buyable level. But do I have your setup in place right now for you to take action? And right now, let's say on Monday goes down to 31.20, I am not a buyer. Why? I have no squeeze. I have nothing. I mean, I have a buy signal. That's great, but I have no squeeze. Why do I only trade the squeeze? Because it gives you a freaking explosive move, guys. Look at this explosive move. Every squeeze I've shown you guys has been explosive. That's why you only trade. That's why I only trade the squeeze, because I get explosion. That's what I want. I don't want to stick around for like 1 or 2 points. I want to get 10, 12, 15, 20, 30 points or more. I digress. Keep going. So over here, put an alert. Move on. That's what I do. I mean, again, taking a long time because I'm talking my butt off every single one, but I want to really, get the point across and I want to teach. I want you guys to make money. We traded early. We traded early back here in the squeeze. Remember the squeeze right here? Look at this sucker right here, squeezing real nice. Look at this squeeze again. You guys would not have gotten this on the regular freebie. Only in the pro. Only in the pro would you would have gotten this, because why? Because it doesn't give you the red dots, it gives you the black dots. So the pro is the one that gives you that. So this is squeeze right here, stacked beautifully. So somewhere around here I'm a buyer. Somewhere around here I'm a buyer. So let's say I buy it at 725 or 720. Actually 720. Say I buy it at 721 or 720, whatever. I'll buy it somewhere around here. I'm still in a squeeze. Look when this sucker fired. Look at it. That's why explosion. When you have a squeeze and it fires, you get explosive move, guys. Look at this. Again, earnings. I would not have held it through earnings. I would have gotten out the day before. But still, I got out at 772, 721, 722. That's 50 points. I would have made 50 points on this. And this still hadn't fired yet. Because I would have gotten out right there before earnings. I'm not holding it through earnings. I would have gotten out right there. Okay? I would have made 50 points on this. That's the power of the squeeze. That's why I don't trade stocks. I trade my setup. Keep going. Okay, I already have an alert here. Keep going. Okay, this is whoa. This is already, again. There was a squeeze back here, right? I had an alert for this for when it came back. I never took it. There's a squeeze back here. You would have been a buyer somewhere in there when it came up again. So somewhere around 44, and you see what it kind of stopped out at 48. You know, made 4 points, no big deal. And then it kept on going to like 53. That's perfectly fine. Maybe a 21, you know, it's your friend on this one. Either way, explosive moves, squeeze. Okay, you have a squeeze. Squeeze fires. The green dot means it's fired. Explosion. That's what I want. So put in my alert right there. Moving on. Put in my alert right there. Moving on. I don't like this. This is kind of like junk. This is like, you know, I'm not even going to worry about this, whatever that is. This is nice. Look at this orderly. So, now, how did you get this? How did you get this? Because you had a squeeze. There's a squeeze. Again, you guys wouldn't have, look at this long squeeze, but here's a squeeze right here on the Pro. Here's when it got stacked up. You would have been a buyer somewhere around here. I probably would have, you know, this trend line right here, I drew it, and I probably would have been a buyer right there. Let's say at 42.50. And then I'm still in it. Look at this. The 8 never got violated. The 8 has never gotten violated. You're still an owner of this at 48, and you bought it back at 42. Okay? Let me clean this up. Let's keep going. Wait, did I put an alert on this one? I did. Wait, did I put FICO? Was it FICO? I'm not doing FICO. Yeah, I put an alert on that one. Okay, this one I have an alert. This one I have an alert. This one, again, these are, I'm going through the ones that I gave you guys, so you saw me what I did. Okay, I hope you guys are still with me here. This one, beautiful. Look at this move. Look at this move. You got a little squeeze here. And here again, this is not I wouldn't have bought this. It just took off, you know. But I want this is a great stock. So I want it to come down a little bit, and I want to be able to see it on this, and then maybe by then it's forming a squeeze. Yeah, it's just letting me know things. Just, you know, hey, look at me. You know, am I actionable? Already have one there. Let me move this one to here. This tells you I've been looking at this stock for a while. Trying to catch it. Halliburton. STLB. Okay, I'll put a little alert right there. I had like a 1 day squeeze here, like 1 day, 1 dot. Again, I wouldn't have bought this coming into earnings. Okay, ooh, this one took off on me from 31 to 37 already when I was looking at this originally, because it had a squeeze right here. See the squeeze, and it fired, but it never gave me. See, it never gave me an entry. It never gave me an entry. So that's why I had the alert to kind of, you know, it never gave me an entry, which is perfectly fine. I have no FOMO. Don't have FOMO. FOMO is for losers and amateurs. I already have that alert. So I'm gonna go through my whole list. And again, that's this. I'm gonna be talking about the same thing over and over again. So like, I want to make this video 2 hours on the same thing. I'm going to continue this list, and I'm going to make an alert like I'm doing right now. So I hope this made sense to you guys. I hope this taught you a little bit. It's very simple. Trading is very simple. Just do one thing and do it really, really, really well.